Do you ever struggle with getting the synths to sit up front in a mix without overshadowing the rest of the mix? In this clip, Sam walks you through the synth processing for Lock and Key, showing you his approach to getting dynamic and upfront synths that sat with the rest of the track and didn't distract from Aaron's playing within the song. Enjoy.
I'll start with the main one that starts the whole song. It's got that like LFOE business going on. One, I wanted it wide. This is actually a good way to talk about, again, like the micro shift thing is like, this is just a mono synth. It'll never be stereo. My goal with the micro shift was to make it kind of freaky deaky in that moment. And get it out of the way of the lead guitar and things like that. Like, and then I did a bit of decapitator on that as well. It's off. Actually did a lot of decapitator on that. Let's take a look at that. It's funny. We talk about how, or we were talking about how it sounds fake to add a widener. Sometimes I find when I'm adding this type of distortion, it sounds fake. Like it sounds like the wrong distortion. And then sometimes you just unsolo it and you listen to it in a mix and you're like, okay, I get it. I'm doing this for, a purpose at the end of the day. I love the movement of this, like this half note ping pong just sort of happening. And it's like pushing back and forth. It's a little dry. So like it's definitely sort of distracting when you're hearing it on its own. I sat it back a little bit with little plate. Let me hear you. It almost takes the harsh edge of that delay off and makes it less distracting. It's still very busy, especially because that riff is crazy busy, but I don't know. Reverb on synths like this are really nice because or else they just sound like you're just happening. And
plastic.
I don't like that.
They
exactly.
like stick out weird.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure it's good at the beginning. No thought given to any settings on that. I loaded up on moderate and just drew the buildup of the actual filter. I think I probably copied it. Yeah, just the same setting there. Again, one knob filter, so good for stuff like this. So good. A cool thing with one knob filter is feeding it into a guitar and screwing around with it because the resonance peak makes the guitar amp sound nuts instead of just putting it like afterwards. But that's like a very desired thing. Like if you're looking for something interesting to do per se. It was probably around this time I dialed in the level of the get out of here, one knob, the level of this riser, because this riser is supposed to work with the fade in. And really, by the look of it, I didn't even, I just did it with clip gain instead of actually doing it to it. Oh yeah, taking off that super harsh business at the end. You can't really hear it till. Yeah, almost like a safety thing. And then just, I don't need anything below that for the riser. Yeah, it's usually when there's synths in a song or when there's extra production. That's usually when I start dialing in those sort of filters and stuff like that. All right, we'll talk about these a little bit. These were delivered by Josh as well as basically just reinforcements for his guitar parts. This synth here. And again, the plasticky thing. So first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to get it out. I wanted to treat it like I did that sort of fake octave on Aaron's guitars. So I put real ADT right away to make it fake stereo. Giving it a bit of its own space. And then this is probably just cleaning up. Yeah. Tone is pretty aggressive, this synth. Tons of low end I don't need in it. Even that boom, even though I'm basically cutting that off, this only exists to kind of just sit behind the guitars anyways. And then the super high hissy business in that I don't need. I don't know if you guys did anything with the synth bells. I literally did nothing to them. I just lowered them and put them into the mix with the guitars. And I cut the tail off. I think I do it both on the ambient guitar. Yeah, I automate the tail right down. And then because the synths had so much of their own stuff and I didn't do anything, instead of automating a mute or volume thing, I just chopped the audio right out. I love that synth. And the last thing is this little spooky piano. This was the Contact Una Corda, I think was the piano. I just got the MIDI for it, and originally it was just like a MIDI piano, and I wanted it to be a little goofier sounding, just because the whole vibe of this part is this spooky business. So Una Corda is this, like, I don't know, it's got a really glassy sound for piano. A couple different options for it. It definitely comes with its own set of problems because of that too. You know, like you can hear that sort of weird low-endy business happening that's not fun. But what I first did was I put a phaser on it right away. I don't know why. I struggled probably the most with this piano. I think we landed on the Una Corda later in the game. I think we maybe had a different piano at first, and nothing was working, and eventually I landed on that one. I did a one knobby plugin, the Greg Wells piano. It is doing tons of heavy lifting here. These are designed sort of like the one knob things. I'm pretty sure the more you turn it up, you're getting brightness out of it, like sort of a tilt EQ. You are getting compression, I'm pretty sure. And then I brought in a bit of a doubler just to give it some space. I can bet you this is, oh, tons of top end. So funny how much that piano pops out when you just lob on that 8K. Or it's not 8K, it's like 15K or something like that. Oh my goodness. It sounds almost comical, but I couldn't imagine it sounding any other way. Yeah, I'm scooping out some stuff I don't need around 500 by the look of it. Or yeah. Boosting, by this boost here, this 4.5, probably like piano, like, you know, like the attack of the piano. Yeah, definitely. And then that insane high-end boost is just to make it pop out of the mix, really. Without it. With it. So yeah, it's very much there to be like, hey, what's up? I'm a piano. And I'm pretty sure all this guy is doing, yes. This is automated. This is just here when this part starts. And that's so, I think, again, we struggled picking this piano. We struggled making this part sit in. The goal was, let's make it little tiny for a second, and then let's bring it in full. Doing. Yeah. And then just some volume moves to make it work. those are just reinforcement synths for the rhythms that Josh is doing. This one is pretty much, yeah, the same EQ setting. I just didn't widen it out because the harmonies are already wide. There's two sets of, oh no, there's this set of harmonies coming in here. I didn't need the synth to be wide as well. It just needs to be there for some reinforcement.